There is an obvious occupational hazard when you're involved in a musical sport like drum corps, and that hazard is loud sound. Now, from a fan's perspective, that's what we dig about drum corps. We want to feel it in our chest. We want that impact that we get from a big drum and bugle corps. But for the performers and for the instructors who are around that loud sound all the time, it can result in hearing loss. And it's an issue that it's like concussions in the NFL. It's the big elephant in the room, and it's one that we need to talk about. And Dr. Mead Killian from Etymotic Research just finished talking, in fact, to the core directors in the world-class meeting. I understand you're going to talk to the open class directors a little bit later on today. Why is this an issue that drum corps directors and members should be concerned with?
Well, for the obvious that if you expose your ears to too much sound or your eyes to too much light, any of those things, you end up with hearing loss and vision loss. And the level in a drum corps that we've measured of around 114 dB, a typical rehearsal might give you 14 or 15 times the allowable dose.
And this is an activity, obviously, involving very young performers. What are the dangers of that kind of decibel exposure at the age of 20, 21? What's the effect going to be when they're 40, 41, 60, 61?
Well, the recent research says, first of all, they may have an effect by the time they're done, and some of them do. A hearing loss that already when they're young. But some of the recent research out of Harvard says that even if your ears appear to recover completely, the ringing goes away and you don't have any hearing loss as you would measure when you listen to the tones, that sometimes some of the synapses connecting to the inner hair cells, which send signals to the brain, some of those will disappear. So instead of 4 or 5, you might only have 1 or 2. And you still hear, but you don't hear as clearly. You'll have trouble hearing in a noisy restaurant, for example. And you won't be able to distinguish the instruments as well.
So what do? How do you protect your hearing? You know, many earplugs muffle the high frequencies. You can't really hear very well. So how do you rehearse music and still not damage your hearing? Etymotic Research has come up with high-fidelity earplugs, and they hope to see a lot of our performers using them this summer.